how are you? Well, I'm kind of coming out of this funk that I've been in, and I don't think it's because I'm turning 70 in 22 days. I think it's just because I've been in isolation for 6 weeks. I think that's what's happening. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. Thank you, all you regular supporters. You're not regular at all. You're all totally awesome, and I thank you for your support. And anybody who's new here for the first time on my channel, hey, that's really cool that you're here and checking me out. And yeah, my channel is like a box of chocolates. It's a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So I hope at by the time we get to the end of this video that you like it enough to maybe just subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. And ring the bell. That the top one just says you're going to get notification when I put out a video. That's all. It's all free. Okay, well, so I'm going, what do I talk about? What do I do? I don't want to just come on here and not bring anything to the table. And then somebody pointed out to me the other day, well, you are going to be 70. Maybe you could talk about some of the things that, you know, like, what do you wish you could change? You know, what's it like getting to where you're going? What are the things that you loved about the journey? Well, there's lots more to do in this journey. And I thought, you know what, that's a great idea. So what I wanted to talk about is some of the things that I got to live and experience that I wish would either come back and, you know, be trendy again today, or some of the things that could just change. And so by all means, you know, I am all for we can agree to disagree, because I'm giving my opinion from where I'm sitting. And I'm sure if you're, you know, 30 or 40 or 50, you may have a very different thought process about what I'm going to share. But these are my kind of, okay, from where I'm sitting right now, I wish that palazzo pants would come back in style. They were comfortable, they looked great. And I mean, they were, you know, the gals even wore them in the 40s and the 50s, and they were certainly popular in the 60s and even in the 70s. I love them. I wish they would come back, become real trendy. And then I wish bell-bottoms would come back. I thought they always looked really, really cool. So I wish they would come back. So on the clothing side, that are the two things that I really loved, and I wish they would come back. And then the other thing that I wish would come back is, I wrote it down here, is, oh my gosh, this is a huge one. Some of you are going to jump all over this. I wish the stores were closed on Sundays. I really do. I love that family day. And then it's not because, you know what, if you're a person that likes to go to church with their families and stuff, then I think you should have, you know, that family day to do it. I loved it because that's the day you could plan to go skiing, and everybody in the family could go. It wasn't like, oh, we can't go, he's got to work. I don't know. I just think it's really nice to have one day a week where nobody has to work, where you can just do it. Maybe you want to lay in bed all day and watch TV. Maybe you want to sit around half the day and have a glass of wine. It doesn't matter what you want to use it for. I just wish there was one day a week that you didn't have to work. And you know what? When I was a young mom, when my kids were little, well, it's definitely in the 60s and part of the 70s, stores were closed on Sundays. The corner store, and they would be open. And then if you had a really good one down the street, they would have the whipping cream that you forgot to get for Sunday's dinner, or, you know, dad needed a pack of cigarettes, or you needed to get a pop, or yeah, so those were always open. But otherwise, everything else was closed. I don't know. I wouldn't mind that at all. I know. Well, I know I'm going to hear it from you guys, but I really do wish we had that one day just to be not worry that we could plan family stuff and do whatever we want to do. So that is another thing I wish we could go back to, and it might be something that is just not ever going to happen. I'm sure it's not. And then the other thing I wish, which is kind of happening right now, so I'm really happy about that, and I think it may make some of us think, is I wish we would get back to talking on the phone. Or now we have FaceTime, that we would even do more FaceTime and get away from texting. I will text, but you know what? it drives me crazy when I've got like one of my, because I mean, most of my girlfriends will text. Most of them. I know, in my age bracket, right? I hang out with a pretty savvy bunch of gals that are, you know, I'm fortunate enough that I'm pretty technical. I'm pretty savvy. Bill doesn't know how to text. He doesn't even know how to send an email. So if I'm sitting texting, I have to either hand him the phone and let him read the whole thing, or he's totally out of the loop. At least when you're talking on the phone, he's hearing one side of the conversation. But more importantly than that, when I pick up the phone and I phone one of my girlfriends, I can usually pick up how she's feeling within the first 30 seconds. So when I'm talking to one of my friends or one of my kids or one of my grandchildren, how they're feeling. It only takes 30 seconds. I do not know that in a text. So I'm actually really glad that we are doing more of that right now. And I hope that we will continue doing that, because I think it's just really important that we get that sense of emotion and feeling. And it works both ways. Yeah, you know, you know that thing that goes around on Facebook sometimes, you know, it's like usually like a little card and says, you know, the meaning of a true friend is when you haven't talked in a year and you just pick up the conversation where you left off. Well, yeah, that's really nice. I mean, it's wonderful to have friends that you're that comfortable with. But I think if you have a circle of your friends, or even if you have a friend that's not right there with you and they're away, that's even more reason to actually pick up the phone and say hi and have a conversation. Because you know what? There is no emotion. There might be an emoji, but there certainly is not an emotional feeling attached to any text. So I really think that would be an awesome thing to get back to. And actually, I think this whole isolation thing is everybody's taking time out to do that. So I am really, really happy about that. Love to hear what you guys have to say. Okay, guys, have a great evening. Thank you for being here. Be safe, or have a good morning, depending on when you're seeing this. Be safe. Love you. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.